All right, Amber, thanks. It's debate week here at UTTV, and we're talking about medical marijuana dispensaries today. I mean, look, medical marijuana, big hot button topic, in particular here in San Diego. Nationally, marijuana use is illegal under federal law, but California voters approved it for medical use. The question is, would you want a medical pot shop in your neighborhood? Joining me right now, this gentleman is Eugene Ramos, who is fighting to take to make dispensaries legal in San Diego. And this is Scott Chipman. He's an activist against having shops in the city. So, gentlemen, thanks both for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Scott,
why don't we start with you? The question, should pot shops be legal in San Diego? You say no. Why?
Well, absolutely they should not be legal. I live in Pacific Beach. At one time we had 24 stores selling marijuana illegally. We have a number of concerns. Number one, this is basically backdoor legalization, allowing anybody to get as much marijuana as often as they want from as many stores as they want. And it gives the wrong message that marijuana is not harmful. It's very harmful. And typically what we're hearing from the staff on schools is that the teens' number one problem on campus is pot. And they're getting that pot from these dispensaries. And finally, these are drug dealers selling marijuana in our neighborhoods illegally for profit.
All right, Eugene, response to that, what do you say?
Well, the reality is over 16 years ago, the voters of the state of California approved the Compassionate Use Act and access for those who truly need this medicine. In San Diego, we have not had any regulated collectives or facilities that have been providing medicine to patients. Unfortunately, we haven't had any rules. So those that have still stepped in and provided the access that's needed to those in the city have done so in compliance with state law. And the youth in our city has not been going into the dispensaries and purchasing marijuana. There hasn't been one single case where somebody without a medical cannabis recommendation from a physician has gone into a collective and received marijuana. That's simply not the case. Those who need this medicine deserve to have that access. That's why we need strict regulations so that communities like Pacific Beach can be protected. And the City Council is working towards those strict regulations.
Guys, why don't we just drop the nonsense here for a second and get serious, because the bottom line is you keep saying medical use and doctors and proper identification and so on, and you're saying drug dealers. You clearly do not think what Eugene thinks, which is that this is really for medical use. You think for some reason, I was able to hear from what you were saying, this is all recreational use marijuana that's being somehow gotten out of these dispensaries. Is that right?
Absolutely, but more than that. First of all, the voters of California did not vote to legalize medical marijuana. It's never been legal to sell marijuana in California, still is not. What they voted for was an affirmative defense that allowed people who were arrested for possession of marijuana to go to a judge and say, "Judge, I need it for a medical purpose." And that was just basically a ruse to say, well, marijuana is medicine.
This is the argument here, Eugene, that those who are opposed to pot shops, okay, say this isn't medicine. Come on, stop with the games. I mean, any doctor who's willing to write out a card for somebody and then people are using it for recreation, they're not using it truly for medicine. That's clearly what the gentleman is saying. What do you say to that?
I think that no one is disputing the fact that there is abuse within the system. Just like in the pharmaceutical industry, we have folks going in, lying to their doctors about their condition in order to get medicine. Yes, the same thing is happening in all sorts of areas in our society, but with regards to medical cannabis, what we need is strict and safe regulations. Those who need this medicine to treat serious conditions should have access to it. There's no question there's medical efficacy of the drug. It helps folks who are suffering from serious and debilitating conditions. Many patients are suffering from end-of-life illnesses and need that access. Calling it a recreational drug for somebody to have relief is simply outrageous.
What do you say to that, Scott?
Well, I've got a list here of more than a dozen nationally recognized medical associations that identify marijuana as harmful and not medicine. American Academy of Ophthalmology, American Academy of Child Adolescent Psychiatry, American Academy of Pediatrics, American Glaucoma Society, American Lung Association.
Right, so there's a whole case.
The American Physicians Association has come out in support of it. In San Diego County, we have regulations allowing its use. The sheriff has been inspecting actual facilities where it's cultivated when it was around before the feds came in and tried to intervene in our state's rights.
Are you saying that there is no legitimate medical reason for certain patients to use marijuana?
Well, I don't think really that's the debate here today.
No, it's not, but what you're doing is you're bringing up a bunch of studies and you're saying that a bunch of organizations that have some form of credibility say that really it's a harmful drug. So, I mean, are you just completely opposed to anybody using marijuana?
No.
Okay.
However, we need to recognize the original question, which should we have these established in our neighborhoods? That's the big problem. Sends the wrong message, allows diversion of marijuana to teens, and I'm glad you've never said the word prescription, because there is no prescription. A prescription, you go into a pharmacy, you offer them what your doctor has recommended for the amount of use, for the time of use. With these recommendations, you can go in and buy as much as you want, as often as you want. It's clearly backdoor legalization and allows people to buy more than they need for medical conditions where they don't really need it, and to divert that marijuana to others.
Okay, Eugene, about 30 seconds. Why don't you have the final word?
The doctors at UCSD Center for Medicinal Cannabis Research would disagree with you, Mr. Chipman. They have determined through double-blind, peer-reviewed studies that medical cannabis helps, especially those suffering from multiple sclerosis and muscle-related pain with that. Many organizations, medical groups across the country agree cannabis is a medicine. It will stay that way in the state, and we need regulations.
Even MS Society says no.
This will go on. This is a very hot topic debate, two totally opposite perspectives. Thank you both, gentlemen.